Have you ever paused for a moment and wondered, could the seafood on your plate actually be harming your health instead of helping it? Many older adults eat fish and shellfish thinking they're always good for the heart and brain. And in many cases, that's true. Seafood is packed with nutrients like omega-3s and protein. But here's the problem. Not all seafood is created equal, especially when you're over 60. Some types of seafood are dangerously high in mercury. Others are raised in polluted waters and carry harmful bacteria. And many processed options are packed with sodium that can quietly raise your blood pressure over time. These hidden dangers don't just affect your heart. They can also impact your kidneys, weaken your immune system, and even speed up memory decline, something no senior wants to face. What's more concerning is that these types of seafood are still being sold in many grocery stores across the US every single day. And most people have no idea they could be putting their health at risk. That's why, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through 5 types of seafood that older adults should avoid completely, especially if you're concerned about your long-term health. And don't worry. I'll also give you healthier seafood alternatives that are safe and nourishing, so you don't have to give up on seafood entirely. Make sure to stick around. Number 3 might surprise you. It's a common favorite that many seniors eat, but very few realize how dangerous it can be. Let's start with the first seafood. Older adults should be cautious about tuna, especially albacore and ahi tuna. Now, tuna is one of the most popular fish in the US. It's tasty, packed with protein, and often promoted as a heart-healthy food. But what many seniors don't realize is that certain types of tuna are very high in mercury, a heavy metal that can build up in the body over time. Mercury affects the brain and nervous system. For older adults, this means a higher risk of memory problems, mood changes, and even poor coordination. If you're already dealing with age-related cognitive decline or issues like high blood pressure, adding mercury exposure only makes things worse. Albacore tuna, the kind found in many canned products, contains up to 3 times more mercury than light tuna. Ahi tuna, often used in sushi or grilled dishes, is also on the high mercury list. And here's the thing. Mercury doesn't leave your body quickly. If you eat high mercury fish regularly, it builds up silently, and over time, the damage can be serious. So what can you do instead? If you enjoy tuna, choose light tuna in water and limit it to no more than once a week. Even better, switch to sardines, wild salmon, or herring. They're lower in mercury, high in omega-3s, and safer for your heart and brain. Next on the list is swordfish, a large, powerful fish that's often served grilled at restaurants or sold as thick steaks at the grocery store. While swordfish is rich in protein and has a firm, satisfying texture, it also ranks among the highest in mercury of all commonly eaten fish. In fact, the FDA and EPA both advise that older adults, children, and pregnant women should avoid swordfish completely. Why? Because mercury, especially at high levels, can be extremely toxic to the brain, nervous system, and kidneys. And those effects can be even more serious in people over 60, whose bodies may already be more vulnerable. What makes swordfish especially risky is that it's a top predator in the ocean. It lives a long time and eats many smaller fish, so it accumulates mercury over the years. Even eating swordfish just once in a while can expose you to levels of mercury that are dangerous over time. For seniors, the effects can be subtle at first. Maybe a bit more forgetfulness, some brain fog, or trouble concentrating. But over months or years, mercury can silently wear down your cognitive health. If you enjoy firm, meaty fish, consider safer options like cod, haddock, or wild-caught salmon. They have similar texture, much lower mercury levels, and still provide plenty of flavor and nutrition. Now let's talk about farmed shrimp, especially the kind imported from overseas. Shrimp is one of the most popular seafoods in the US, especially among older adults. It's quick to cook, easy to chew, and low in calories. But here's something most people don't know. A large portion of the shrimp sold in American supermarkets comes from overseas industrial farms, where safety standards can be very different and often much lower than in the US. These imported farmed shrimp are often raised in overcrowded, unsanitary ponds and treated with antibiotics, chemical preservatives, and even traces of pesticides. While this might prevent disease in the shrimp, it introduces serious risks for human health, especially for seniors. In older adults, eating these shrimp regularly has been linked to digestive issues, skin inflammation, and allergic reactions. For those with weaker immune systems or sensitive stomachs, it can cause discomfort, bloating, or food intolerances that worsen over time. What's more, these chemical residues can stay in the shrimp meat even after cooking, and the long-term effects are still being studied. But many health experts warn against frequent consumption. So what's the safer choice? Look for USDA-certified domestic shrimp. These are raised under strict safety and hygiene regulations. Or, for a more premium but cleaner option, try small lobsters or wild-caught shrimp from US coastal waters. They may cost a bit more, but they're much safer for your gut, skin, and overall health, especially as you age. Now let's move on to another popular but surprisingly risky seafood, canned crab meat, especially those imported without clear labeling or origin. For many older adults, canned crab seems like a convenient option. It's ready to eat, easy to mix into salads or casseroles, and doesn't require any cooking. But the truth is, not all canned crab is created equal, and some types may pose real health risks, especially for seniors. Many imported canned crab products contain chemical preservatives, nitrates, and additives that help extend shelf life. Unfortunately, some of these substances have been linked to increased cancer risk and digestive irritation, especially in those with weaker immune systems. In addition, some of the more processed varieties are extremely high in sodium, sometimes packing over 800 milligrams in just one serving. For older adults with high blood pressure, heart disease, or kidney problems, that's a dangerous amount. Even more concerning is the risk of foodborne illness. If canned crab isn't properly handled, stored, or sterilized during packaging, bacteria can survive, and the symptoms of food poisoning are much harder on seniors than younger adults. So what's a safer choice? Choose fresh or steamed crab, sourced locally or from trusted markets where the origin is clearly labeled. You can still enjoy that delicious crab flavor, but without all the hidden chemicals and excess salt. Yes, it takes a little more preparation, but your heart, kidneys, and stomach will thank you for it. And finally, let's talk about a type of fish that's cheap, widely available, and quietly risky. Frozen basa or trawl fish, especially those imported from parts of Asia. These fish are often sold under names like swai, pangasius, or simply whitefish in American grocery stores. They're inexpensive and have a mild flavor, which makes them popular among seniors. But what many people don't realize is that these fish are often raised in highly polluted rivers or overcrowded ponds, where sanitation is far below U.S. standards. In fact, the FDA has issued repeated warnings about imported basa and tiare fish testing positive for harmful bacteria like Salmonella and Vibrio. For a healthy young person, this might just mean an upset stomach. But for seniors, especially those with weaker immune systems, it can lead to serious infections, hospitalization, or worse. The risk doesn't end there. Some of these fish are also treated with chemicals and antibiotics banned in the U.S., which may remain in the meat even after cooking. Long-term exposure could affect your gut health, kidneys, and overall resistance to illness. So what's the better option? Instead of imported frozen basa, choose U.S. farmed catfish, which is raised under strict USDA regulations and is regularly tested for contaminants. Or go for wild-caught cod, also called Atlantic cod or Pacific cod. It's firm, flavorful, and far safer for your health. Remember, cheap fish today could cost you a hospital visit tomorrow. When it comes to seafood, safer is always smarter, especially as we age. Before we wrap up, here are a few simple but powerful tips to help you choose safer seafood, especially important for older adults. First, always check the label. Look for products marked wild-caught, USDA certified, or sustainably sourced. These labels mean the seafood was caught or raised under safer, cleaner, and more regulated conditions. Avoid packages that don't clearly state their origin. If you don't know where it came from, it's better not to risk it. Second, whenever possible, choose smaller fish, like sardines, herring, or anchovies. These tiny fish are much lower in mercury compared to larger fish like tuna or swordfish. They also tend to be rich in omega-3s and easier to digest, making them a great fit for aging bodies. Finally, if you have a weakened immune system or chronic health issues, it's best to limit raw seafood, like sushi or sashimi. Raw fish can carry parasites or bacteria that might not cause problems in younger adults, but could lead to serious infections in seniors. Remember, seafood can still be a healthy, delicious part of your diet if you choose wisely. It's not about cutting it out completely. It's about protecting your body while still enjoying the flavors you love. Thank you for staying with me until the end. As we age, what we eat becomes more important than ever. And while seafood can be one of the healthiest choices on the plate, it can also become a hidden risk if we're not careful. I hope today's video helped you feel more confident when choosing seafood, knowing which types to avoid and which ones to enjoy safely. If you found this helpful, feel free to share it with a friend, a loved one, or anyone who cares about eating well in their golden years. And don't forget to subscribe for more science-based tips on aging well, eating smarter, and living stronger, one choice at a time. Until next time, stay healthy, stay informed, and stay connected. Take good care.